All right, Shalom. Hey man, big shout out to Lex Will, man. Seeing all the nice things he said on this video. It was very kind, and I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate what he does, man, because all this is him. This ain't me, man. I used to sit on my ass and just watch TV. The Most High inspired something in me to look at this stuff and find. And what I find a whole world. I just tell my wife I can't wait till I find that one thing that makes your jaw just drop and you go, oh my gosh, it's all true. All right, so I was studying about Morocco and about Portugal, and this popped up. Like I was saying in my last video, there's been countless battles between Morocco and Spain and Portugal and all three of them. And I believe the lines have been so blurred over the years that, they're basically all the same people. I'm not challenging in any way the bad things they did, of course. They did many bad things, but, uncovering their identity is important. That's what we're trying to do here. I'm not um, challenging their identity. I'm not challenging what history says about them. They obviously not. I just hope that I didn't come off in that way in some way in my last video. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and read this history, the Viking adventure in Morocco. Okay. In Old Norse, the word Viking is a term used to characterize the famous Scandinavian civilization that existed between the 8th and 12th century. While there are many theories explaining why the Vikings decided to navigate, from Scandinavia in search for new territory, the most common and famous one is purely economic. Now they're so tied. This is one of the the authors of the new bullshit histories major sticking points. They need the white man to come from Scandinavia. They need it. And that's why they keep going after this. And you're going to notice they keep hammering away. They're from Ireland. They're from Scandinavia. But they slipped up. And I'm going to show you what they gave us. Show us where they really come from. And I'm going to show you something else too. Economic interest in Northern Europe was low since farming lands were not fertile, blah, 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 Looking for greener pastures, right? Famous Muslim historian and geographer from Andalusia, Bakri, mentions in his book Roads and Kingdoms that the Vikings, to which he refers to as Majus, okay, this is where we got it. And I don't remember where I saw the word originally. I can't find that. But it's not important. Because these are the Majus. It's not just what somebody called them in their book. These are the Majus, and you're going to see who the Majus are. Okay? Raided the city of Nakur, located in modern-day Rif, Morocco, in their North African adventure, where they held numerous prisoners as slaves. They were slave raiding. We already know about the pirates, about the Barbary pirates and their misadventures. This supports historical Viking presence in Morocco. Is an important, and I just gloss over that, but that's pretty significant, to say that the Vikings had a presence in Morocco. Didn't know that before, hadn't heard that before. So this is adding some more so-called, supposedly foreign blood into the mix. I wonder how much, and I looked it up too. It said, wait, well, where is it, man? Where is it? Let me look it up real quick. I forget what it was. Let me see. It gets into the it gets into the DNA stuff and the gene stuff, and I don't like getting into that much. But basically, it said that the people of Europe and the people of Northern Africa have the same genes. So at different times, there was a wave that came out of the Caucasus and perhaps went back into India, but they're all the same people, I believe. Possibly, they seem to have come from the same place. Um, I don't know. I don't know. So let's continue with this. Is this where I was? It is important to note how the Vikings ended up in Morocco following their famous raids in Spain. The Majus, or Northmen, as called by the Andalusians, most probably had no intention to navigate through the Mediterranean Sea before clashing with the Muslim Caliphate of Andalusia. See, now that makes it sound funny because if they're going to Andalusia, which is Spain, and they're coming from Ireland, as they claim here in a minute, they don't even have to navigate through the Mediterranean Sea. They even talk about it later. It's called the Sea of Canterbury or something. Um, Calabrian, right? I have it in my history right here. Anyway, so that's weird. Okay. Most probably had no intention to navigate through the Mediterranean Sea. They had no intention, but that doesn't mean that they didn't do it. It means that they did do it before clashing with the Muslim Caliphate of Andalusia. So if they're coming from Ireland down to Andalusia, they would be going through the Mediterranean Sea after clashing with the Muslim Caliphate in Andalusia. They attacked Lisbon and Sevilla, where they took many fortunes, goods, as well as women and children. They were slave raiding. Okay. The Andalusians undertook a different strategy when they faced the Vikings a second time. Caliph Rahman III was advised by the famous scholar Habib to declare war on the Vikings. They decided to switch strategies and stop them on the sea instead of engaging with them in land battle. On the seacoast of Lisbon, cannons and archers were installed and used to attack 70 Viking warrior ships, in which half were burnt. This particular battle with the Muslim kingdom of Andalusia took place in 859 AD, I believe, and considered to be one of the most important battles in history. I don't know why. According to Dr. Umar Abdullah, founder and director of the Nawawi Foundation based in Chicago, the remaining fleets were therefore forced to escape and continue through the Mediterranean Sea, where they eventually ended up in Morocco and spent 8 days. Now, see, that's not what they were saying. And second of all, if they were going from Lisbon, which is on the western coast of Spain, the Iberian Peninsula, they would simply have to cross the Strait of Gibraltar to get to Morocco. They would never even have to go into the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Following their defeat, and you're going to see where they really came from. They're going to tell you. Following their defeat in the coast of Andalusia, many of the Vikings captured. Okay, so this is after their defeat in Spain. Many of the Vikings captured were punished, while a minority, what's the punishment? I don't know. While a minority converted to Islam and were allowed to settle in the city of Jerez. So now we're talking about a settlement. Now we're talking about there is Viking blood in Spain / Portugal / Morocco / Moors / Berbers / Ottoman Turks / somebody else. These people have a lot of different identities, man. Seems that way to me. Seems they're trying to hide who they are. Based on the historical records from the fragmentary annals of Ireland, the Viking. Did I finish that? Yeah. Settle in the city of Jerez de la Frontera in the province of Cadiz. Let me check, make sure we're going. Based on historical records from the fragmentary annals of Ireland, the Vikings have raided a part And I think they're supposed to say played. The Vikings have played a part in the north of Morocco during the 860s, where they battled Berber kingdom of the Moors. Let's look at what that is real quick, just for the hell of it. The Berbers are the Mari cited by the chronicles of 754 during the Umayyad conquest of Hispania. The Berbers are the Mari having become since the 11th century the catch-all term. Moors. You guys can see that, right? They keep giving them a lot of different names. The catch-all term Moors. So it really is catch-all. It doesn't even only just mean black. It's just a catch-all term. Yeah, I'm really confused about who and what, what are the Moors? Why do they keep getting mentioned so many different times? Why in my research does it keep talking about white Moors? Were they perhaps albinos like the last one was talking about? I don't know, but they just keep talking about white Moors. On documents of the Christian refer on documents of the Christian Iberian kingdoms to refer to the Andalusi, the North Africans, and the Muslims overall. Okay. Shit. As suggested by the annals, this took place following their famous raids in Britain. Okay, now they're raiding Britain. Isn't Ireland Britain? Navigations across the Cantabrian Ocean, which lies between modern Ireland and Spain. See, that's what I was talking about. What are they doing in the Mediterranean? Where they continued exploring and raiding. When they reached North Africa, they had to face the Berber king of Mauritania, not to confuse with Mauritania, the country, in a bloodbath where numerous warriors from both sides died. The I keep wanting to say Burger King. The Burger King lost a hand in this battle and resulted in both parties agreeing to challenge each other the following day. Due to retreat from the part of the kingdom, the battle did not take place, and the Vikings, again, held many prisoners as captives. So they're slave raiding to be taken back to modern day Ireland. See, modern day. Why do they keep making that distinction, modern day? So then Ireland in the modern day is a different place than what Ireland was in the past. Okay, let me show you this real quick, man. We're going to go Egypt kilt. We know that Scottish and Irish are famous for wearing the kilt, right? Well, here we go. The Shendite was a type of loincloth similar to a kilt. Similar, of course. It was a kilt-like garment worn in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt again. I get tired of doing the air quotes, the so-called ancient Egypt. To me, that's just saying that it's the Middle East, the Middle Eastern area, where these people came from and where they went to. They did eventually actually go to Ireland, as history shows us. Let me try to get through this because I got to get ready for work. In her academic blog, British historian viewed the annals with suspicion, linking them to archaeological evidence. Blah blah blah. The skeletal remains of rodents. Blah blah blah. The Vikings had explored major areas in the world and marked their place as history not only through battles but also in trade and commerce. Contrary to popular belief, they didn't destroy everything in their path. Yeah, right. Also, one can wonder whether the Muslim Vikings, I didn't know there was Muslim Vikings, who settled in Andalusia were part of the Moors. Also, one can wonder whether the Muslim Vikings who settled in Andalusia were part of the Moors. who were forced to exit Andalusia after the famous Reconquista, where all of the Muslims were driven out of Andalusia. Another theory would be them being part of the Moorish or Moriscos, who were allowed to stay in the peninsula if they converted, or who were coerced into converting to Christianity. In both cases, however, most of these groups of people, would end up in Morocco. And Spain and Portugal, it's all the same area. They've been admixing for centuries. This poses a very interesting debate on the Moroccan population. Do Moroccans have any Viking blood? Okay, let's look up Maju Viking. Let's look up Maju Viking. Okay, we look up Maju Viking, and up comes Viking raid on Seville. In the Muslim sources, the Vikings were referred to as the epithet the Majus, fire worshippers, a term initially used for Zoroastrians in the East, Iranians, Scythians, um, and it's copy paste. Bless you, God bless you. Hey, I bless you, little man. Uh, they keep doing jump, and it's copy pasting. Everyone was originally a term meaning Zoroastrian. So if it was originally a term meaning Zoroastrian, that means it still means Zoroastrian, and it's specifically Zoroastrian priests. Okay. Basically, most of the activities, Muslims classified the Vikings as Majus or heathen Zoroastrian. See, there's no guessing there. It says, period, very clear. Muslims classified the Vikings as Majus or heathen Zoroastrians. Okay? They're not coming from Ireland. They made their way to Ireland. They're coming from Iran, the Middle East. They're coming from the Middle East. They're traveling west through the Mediterranean Sea. They're stopping off in Morocco. I don't know. It sure seems that way. And I think that's everything. I don't think I had anything else on this. Majus is defined as heathen, which surely covers not yet Christianized Vikings. Christianized Vikings, that's a good one. And then we see there's an academic paper on this. I'd love to read. I will read also that about the raid on Seville. The Muslims describe the heathens as Majus. The name Magians, was originally used of the Zoroastrians. I'll show you real quick who's the Zoroastrians, just in case there's any question. There's another name. Mazda Yasna is an Iranian religion. All right, Shalom.